Hello and welcome to your NARSA weekly update for the week commencing Monday the 27th of January 2025. This is the last one that we have for January, then we're blasting right into February, and what a great way to finish the month there with a very rare league away win. Anyway, it's Gary here again, and I think, you know what, overall that was probably a successful week in terms of the Rangers men's first team there. Obviously, coming on the back of a defeat to Old Trafford isn't what we wanted or hoped for, and certainly not the way that the game unfolded, but to know that we have qualified from that particular group with the group fixtures that we had, I think is no mean feat, and we'll see what happens this week as we get beyond that. But then, as I said, we then have a victory away from home in the league, and it kind of feels funny to me, really, honestly, it does. It's just a wee bit weird in terms of just going there and confidently putting in a performance. We went a goal down from another garbage goal, which I'll get to here just very shortly, and it was a very good performance and a very entertaining game as well. Still pretty quiet on the transfer front, certainly in terms of players coming in. We've just had the one, of course, that I talked about last week there, but there was confirmation this morning that Kieran Dowell has gone off on loan to, I guess we'll just call them mini Rangers now, because he's gone off to Birmingham City for the remainder of the season to join Scott Wright and Ben Davies down there as well. And Birmingham City they're not messing around in League One. They are desperate to get back up into the Championship and continue their rebuilding. They've got a comfortable cushion at the top there. And for anyone else who doesn't know anything about League One, that's where Wrexham are right now, and they are just a couple of spots below Birmingham right now, and vying for that automatic place. And but certainly looking pretty in terms of an opportunity to qualify for the playoffs at the very least. But lots and lots of games down there, and we'll see how that goes. But anyway, back to Rangers. Kieran Dowell's off. I don't think it's ever really worked out for Kieran Dowell. It was a bit of an odd signing, something that Michael Beale did when he was in charge, and there's not many of his signings that actually worked out in terms of longevity and sustained success for us. So I think that's another one that we can just kind of put down to experience and continue to flush out the Michael Beale era from the existing first team squad. So on to the game segment for this week. The first one was, of course, last Thursday's, what would you say, valiant and unfortunate or extremely sore 2-1 loss at Old Trafford against Manchester United, and what I thought was a good game. Certainly a very, very entertaining first half. Second half, maybe not so much. We had some early chances before they did, where Nico Raskin really should have done better. He just couldn't get the ball out of his feet, could he? And then Ridvan Yilmaz had a really good opportunity where he blasted it just kind of at the goalie. We did get away with one when their opener was ruled for a foul, a kind of phantom foul, wasn't it? I thought the foul was on Butland. The commentator thought it was maybe on one of the defenders. I'm not 100% sure, but very, very soft, I thought. So got away with one. And then, unfortunately, towards the end of what I thought was a very solid first half, we endured yet more injuries, this time to Connor Barron and Leon Balogun, which was kind of hoping, can they run it off? Can they get a wee break at half time and get the physios going to work there? But nope, they were forced off, which then forced us to put on Bailey Rice and Ross McCausland for the second half. So things are starting to kind of look a little bit bleaker for us in terms of just, de-strengthening the team, basically. Then I thought things are ticking along relatively nicely. Then Jack Butland, he doesn't get the super moniker anymore, punches the ball into his own net after, and that came from a corner kick after, like, honestly, it looked like Yilmaz was just drunk. He had one of these passages of play where he was literally all over the place, and it was just awful defending. Goes out for a corner. We've got a chance to convalesce and regroup and get ourselves set for what's coming in. But you know what we're like at set pieces, and it's definitely not just in the Philippe Clement era or the Giovanni Van Bronckhorst or the Michael Beale. Like, we were kind of rotten even when Steven Gerrard was there at set pieces. It's something that feels like scientifically it should be something really, really easy to fix, but obviously not, because it's just an absolute Achilles heel. And Philippe Clement was a central defender, an international central defender at that, and we still can't seem to figure it out. I'll get to that a wee bit more in the Dundee United game. Anyway, so then Jack Butland defies physical science by his whole body momentum is going forward. Everything is going forward. And then he manages to punch the ball backwards with a forward motion punch. It's just incredible the way that he managed to do that. Just absolutely terrible. And by the way, Butland has not been at his best this season at all. And I don't know what's happened in terms of going off the boil. We know that he had his daughter there. Well, his wife had his daughter recently, and then he's obviously got that foot or calf or ankle injury or whatever it was in terms of the internal bleeding. But even before that, he's been off the boil this season. Comes off with some good saves, definitely does, but not the powerhouse that gave him the Super Jack Butland moniker before. So hopefully he comes back, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Then we have another injury where Czerny goes off. He wasn't having a great game anyway, but I mean, he goes off, and then Finlay Curtis comes on. So I mean, the average age of the team must have been about 19 or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. And the second half I thought was a bit of a slog. First half was great. Second half a bit of a slog overall, and then until the end. And then all of a sudden it starts to get interesting when CD9 hits the post. He was offside, but then you're kind of going, wait a minute, man, it's only just one goal here. And then Super Jack Butland, no, this doesn't sound right, does it? Then Jack Butland has a few saves, which is great. Saves you're expecting him to make, but still kind of doesn't undo what he did in terms of giving them that goal, gifting them that goal. Then CD9 scores the absolutely brilliant equaliser at the end, and then straight after that, it looked like us who were the team that were going to go on and win it, and then we just didn't stop a cross coming in from their left-hand side, and Jeffy was just absolutely sleeping at the back post, wasn't he? And Fernandez comes in and just meets it so smoothly at the back post there and slots it in for the winner. I thought we just about deserved a draw overall. Probably on the balance of play and such, maybe Man United would think they deserved the win. I could kind of see that, but in terms of endeavour, in terms of effort, in terms of the way the game unfolded, in terms of the injuries we sustained and the regrouping that we had to do, I think there's a whole bunch of inputs that goes into the story of a game, isn't there? And I thought that based on all those inputs that we deserved a draw. So to lose it so late was a blow. But as I said earlier, it was confirmed afterwards that we have indeed qualified for at least the playoff round of the Europa League, and still with a very outside chance of reaching the top 8 if we get a result on Thursday and the results go our way at the same time. So yeah, you never know. Positives. First half was really good. I thought James Tavernier was absolutely excellent. He'd a wee bit of a ropey, first 2 or 3 or 4 minutes when it looked like they were targeting our right-hand side of defence, which I would do, of course, if I was an opposition manager. But then after that, he just had a really, really good defensive game overall. He got moved to centre back when Leon Balogun went off, and I thought he was brilliant in there as well. And of course, the boys coming on and doing a good job overall. It was really positive. And then CD9's goals, he's back to having one of these purple patches again, isn't he? he's doing the right thing, so that's great. Negatives, obviously the result wasn't what we wanted, especially so late, but the injuries for me was the biggest negative part again. It's just, I don't know, I don't know if the type and style of market that we're in right now for players just has them literally weaker than players who are playing at the top echelons of football, of the game. I'm not 100% sure, but with the cryo chamber, with all the work that the physios and medical staff are doing, we seem to just have the same type and style of injuries for the same type and style of people as well. So the negatives, another negative, I thought the second half, as I mentioned earlier, there was also tough to watch. And other than that, to get the good news afterwards that with a game to spare that we've qualified from that group, from the fixtures we've had, I think it's absolutely brilliant. Really, really, really impressive by the team, so well done. In terms of the stats, 33% possession, which is kind of to be expected at Old Trafford, I would guess. But listen to this, 10 shots on goal with 7 shots on target. So we got one of those. So, that's the percentage, the XG for that is obviously awful. But that's a good amount of goals, goal attempts there, which is good. Versus Man United's 6 and 6, they had 12 shots. With 6 on target, so yeah, that's not too bad. In terms of the referee watch, I don't recall him having a bad game or doing anything weird, and he actually did us a favour, I think, with their potential first opening there. So he's going to get the standard 7 out of 10. Now on to the second game, which was yesterday's rare away win and a come from behind victory, no less, as well, against what is now officially the third best team in the league, Dundee United. And I thought, honestly, I know I mentioned this just at the top of the show today, I thought it was a brilliant game. I thought it was a really good game. It's just end to end. Both teams really going at it. Not a lot of bad behaviour there, and kind of flowed well. And I can't remember the last time I actually said that. We've had some really good performances where it's been brilliant to talk about them in the podcast afterwards. But in terms of the actual game, going head to head, end to end, entertainment, I thought it was really good. Of course, we won via goals from Mo Diamande, a good finish, which ended up being a big deflection from Robin Proper, and then made safe by an absolutely brilliant effort at the end by CD9. And yeah, I wonder if he's done that in his career, where he goes off the boil for a period of time and looks like he's just stood next to a footballer. That's the closest he's ever become, or ever came to becoming one. And then he goes through these runs, and he's a goal scoring machine right now. I can't remember exactly how many Tom Miller said on RTV yesterday that he's got in his last X amount of games, but he's had a hat trick. He's scoring, it seems to be, in almost every game, and good goals at that as well. And one of the things was, after the injuries that we had at Old Trafford on a Thursday night, we still put a very strong starting lineup in there, I thought. And that was a thing. They hit the post early on. Tav cleared off the line with a great save by Jack Butland around about the quarter-hour mark or whatever it was. And here was the funny thing. I mean, I know it's really early, and my eyes are still full asleep and I'm not fully awake at that particular point, but it was around about 17 or 18 minutes when Bayrami first touched the ball, or the first time I'd noticed that he was playing. I mean, I glance at the lineup, so I know that he's there, but I'd never really thought about him. So I mean, almost 20 minutes to have any meaningful involvement in the game is a bit odd. It's kind of not good enough, is actually what I'm saying. Then they get a long throw. It causes chaos in the box, and then their boy pokes it home. And I have to say, by the way, I thought that was a very impressive finish. Like, the guy never took any backlift or anything, and rifled it home past Butland. I mean, he made a valiant effort to try and get it, but it was absolutely rocketed. But the biggest thing is, it's the same typical garbage that we see time and time and time again from set pieces. And I think that the basic thing is, we're just not laser beam focused or focused enough in defence. Like, there's not that absolute hunger, or desire to get the ball away, to do anything that you need to do within the laws of the game, of course, to get that ball, to get it away, to keep the clean sheet, to get to demoralise them for there's nothing going to happen if we get it in the box because these guys are just going to clear it. We don't have that. They're looking to put any ball, any type and style of ball, it's going to bounce in there, and invariably it doesn't bounce our way for whatever reason, and it's just so bizarre. And then not long after, they finally got a booking, because here's the thing, in the referee watch, I'm sure you can understand what's coming on the referee watch, but he just let too much go in the beginning, and Diamande in particular was the source of some of the bad challenges, but he just decided, we're going to let it go here. And even Tom Miller, and I think it was Graham Dorrans that was on the co-coms yesterday, were saying, yeah, it's a bit early to be brandishing a yellow card. Actually, it's not. Actually, it's not. If it's a yellow card offence, it doesn't matter what time of the game it's in. You get a yellow card, and then you can get to control the game. But no, I didn't. So they got a booking. Then Diamande celebrated what was his 1 year RFC birthday with a brilliant finish, and really, really good to see his passion after he scored. Like, he was right into it. He thought, right, okay, if the referee's not going to give me any protection, I'm going to do it here myself. Bang, have that. Butland did a brilliant save on the line from another free header, of course, and then with a couple of attempts at the end of the half to kind of say, right, okay, game on. And then just after, we got Robin Proper scored, which was a good finish, and good for him to stay up there after the play had broken down. And as I mentioned earlier, a deflection, of course. We had a 3-on-2 right after that. And once again, we didn't get a shot on target with the 3-on-2. Now we've been afflicted by that this season, not on one occasion before, and we need to be more ruthless as we're going forward. I don't understand why we don't seem to pick the right type and style of opportunity. It's really obvious for us to see and really easy for me 4,000 miles away to say that was a pass you should have picked. But it's not that difficult when you've not got that many defenders that are in your way and you're looking and you see what options are there, and you'll be communicating with each other on the pitch as well. So that's that's annoying as well. And then we get Nick Walsh deciding that he's going to be the star man of the show, and the stupidity starts when he gives it a ridiculous booking for James Tavernier for just a shoulder charge on Glenn Middleton. And it's funny, it's actually weird because earlier in the day I was trying to think whether Tavernier had ever been sent off for Rangers before or not. Maybe someone could tell me whether he has or not. And so when he got that booking, I'm like, oh, Gary, don't tell me you've had a premonition that this is going to happen today and then we're going to be missing him for future games and stuff. We've just got him back and he's contributing really well. But crap booking, just utterly crap. And then we've got this bizarro play where Raskin tries to clear it, hits our post. The post, someone said on, I think it was Gary Fleming had said on the NARSA chat yesterday that the post was our man of the match because they hit the post a couple of times. We had a goal disallowed for offside, which, as it turns out, on the VAR replay was very, very, very close. I thought that the advantage was supposed to go to the attacker if it's not absolutely clear and obvious, but I guess they think they can see what they can see when they draw the lines, and that's that. But then we had a brilliant move and a brilliant, absolutely brilliant finish. We had Bairami to Lovelace, brilliant ball over to Dessers. I actually thought he overhit it, and Dessers had to kind of go away from goal, and then it just rifles at home. And yeah, that's the type and style of goals that he can score. That's why he's the enigma that he is. And you know, it could have been a bit better. Diamandi hit the post at the end after brilliant work from Igaman there. So good, a good result, and second away victory at Tannadice this season as well. So that's great. I won't talk about the ending of the game. I'll get to that when I get to the referee watch. The positives: an away win, battling back, a strong finish to the game, strengthening our grip on second place. Negatives: while it was an entertaining game, we gave up way too many chances for me, and we were literally kind of all over the place at times defensively. But you know, when you win 3-1 away from home, especially after the away performances and record that we have this season, I don't want to be too greedy there. In terms of stats, 66% possession, possession, and 18 shots on goal with 9 on target. We scored 3 of the 9, so that's 30% XG there. I know I'm not saying all this stuff right, but 30% is decent. We're looking to get to half. I know I keep saying that every single week. Versus them having 11 shots with 6 on target. So that gives you a wee bit of an understanding of what the type and style of game was. Okay, on to the referee watch here. I want to start this part by, I've calmed down now. Like yesterday, I was seething. I thought it was just like, see when you see this blatancy right in front of you. It's insulting. It's absolutely insulting. But I want to start here by saying I actually don't mind Nick Walsh as a referee. I think he does a reasonable job. It looks like he talks the players through the game. He has a decent grip on the games and stuff like that. But how he ended the game yesterday was nothing short of scandalous, absolutely scandalous. And he caused it, as I mentioned there earlier, from the off when he let some bookable fouls go very, very, very early in the game. And then what happens is it becomes open season on our players because they're thinking we can just keep doing this until somebody gets booked, and then we'll kind of let it go, or we'll ease off the gas a wee bit. I thought we should have had a penalty for handball, and I was looking at some of the referee comments on Sky Sports earlier today, and they're saying, oh, we're glad he never gave a penalty for that. Well, I'd love to understand the rules a wee bit better, because if the ball hits your hand in the box, it's supposed to be a penalty. And then they go, right, well, his hand wasn't in an unnatural position. Okay, but an unnatural position, excuse me. It wasn't in an unnatural position. But did it change the direction of the ball to the advantage of the defending team? Yes, it did. So that should be a penalty. No, I mean, maybe there's a referee out there that can give me a wee bit of an understanding of exactly why that wasn't there. I would have expected it the other way around. Yeah, I would have been saying, you know, yeah, he never meant it, but we got an advantage from that, and then go from there. But then, towards the end of the game's just fizzling out. I'm hoping we're going to get an extra goal to make it 4-1 and just do something nice for the goal difference. But then Nick Walsh just decides. I mean, who knows what's been said on the pitch? Who knows what type and style of mood he's in or whatever? But how he handled them himself and how he conducted his duties at the end of the game, I think should see his career ended as a top flight referee. He had an opportunity to save himself and he didn't take it. He literally, as you see it on the replay, could not get the red out of his pocket quick enough. He couldn't. You could, as soon as he blew the whistle, he's reaching for his back pocket where the red card is, and then he's given the opportunity to go and look at it, and then everyone is thinking, right, he's going to see it, and this is what gets your respect. It's where you go and you look at it and you go, you know what I thought I seen first time is actually not what I seen. So then I'm going to turn that around and I'm going to just give him a booking, for the flailing arm. I'm assuming it was for the arm that he did that on. But back to what I was saying on the Sky Sports thing, no one. There was three different contributors who were involved in the game from a refereeing perspective, and all three of them said it was a ridiculous decision, like just absolutely bizarre in the first place, and even worse in the second time when he goes and looks and says, "Nope, you're off." He's just giving himself more admin, more publicity. Maybe that's what he's dying for, I guess, and that's fine. Either way, it's either gross incompetence and then you shouldn't be refereeing at that level, or it's blatant cheating. And it's kind of difficult to think it's gross incompetence with the amount of lessons that can be learned each and every single week that we go forward. He gets what I believe to be the first ever zero on the referee watch because he let his ego, he let his pride get in the way of doing his job and just completely embarrassed himself. I can't even imagine the type and style of conversations that Willie Collum we'll be having with them. And then what happens? I mean, luckily, is at the very, very end of the game. It doesn't materially impact anything. But we're talking about this when we should have been talking about a fine performance and result, especially in the second half there. So the guy's just a clown, and he shouldn't be refereeing again, and he should get bumped down the divisions at the very least, and we should get a firm apology, and Rangers should come out. I mean, Clement, you could see that he was upset after it, which was great. But they should be calling these guys by name. There should be a dossier on these referees and the decisions and such like that to be able to say there's a pattern here, folks. We're not the only team that's suffering from it, but we're the only team that we care about. And here's what's happening, and put them under pressure. And I don't mean that to in any way intimidate them. I don't mean that and put them into a very, very difficult position in their personal and professional lives. But what I'm saying is the standards need to be better. And what we're doing in terms of our previous approach of dignified silence and well the referees they've got a tough job and these things even themselves and all that other garbage that we typically say that hasn't worked and the standards are dropping and dropping and dropping, so we need to do something to get it better. And Clement kind of maybe started that, and of course we're going to appeal it at the time of recording here. Right now I'm a wee bit earlier today, it's 9:14 a.m. my time. I haven't seen whether the appeal's gone in, but I assume it was, and I hope that Patrick Stewart has gone and put the phone call into Willie Collum right away, if not yesterday, today, to say what's going on here, Willie, and figure that out as we move forward. Disgusting. Anyway, this week we have the conclusion of the group stage of the Europa League with our home match against Union Saint-Gilloise, our USG for short, and that's on Thursday the 30th of January at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. UK. And I think it's really win-win for us. It would be good to go out with a win and get the financial benefits and incentives from that. We have the knockout phase to look out, to look forward to, I should say. And if it's the playoffs, it's going to be the 13th and 20th of February. If we manage to squeeze out a result and other results go our way, we would then go straight to the round of 16, which is the 6th and 13th of March. So I imagine inside the club there's a little bit of a dichotomy here, because I think commercially another opportunity for a big home game and a big away game and the revenue that could be generated from that and the anticipation and the excitement and such. I'm sure the commercial folks and the financial folks are kind of like, playoffs is okay, but from a football perspective, we don't need another two very difficult games. It would be great to get through to the last 16, to enjoy the financial benefits of that, to get a little bit of a rest in midweek and just prepare and plan properly for the last 16. So either way, as I say, win-win. Great to be in this position. I feared the worst when I first saw the group, and it turned out to be very, very good and an enjoyable campaign. overall. And then we're back to league action on Sunday at home to Ross County, and that's the 2nd of February, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff, 3 p.m. in the UK. If you're in or around the Calgary area, you're more than welcome to come down to Pin Bar, and I can serve you a couple of beers from 9 a.m. onwards. And I think this game's an opportunity to do well, to continue our wee, I'm going to say mini run that we're on. We're doing fairly well overall in terms of our league positioning. And of course, with that mob not playing on the weekend, it's down to 10 points. We're at home, they're away from home. You never know. Who knows how that's going to go. In terms of shout-outs for this week, I have a couple of birthday shout-outs. Firstly, on Friday this week, the 31st of January, it's my nephew Callum's birthday, and we're actually going to get together and do a wee bit of a celebration on Saturday, because on Sunday it's my brother-in-law, former NARSA social media gonk, Andy Carey. His birthday is on Sunday, but the most important birthday for this week is my love Erin's birthday, whose birthday is tomorrow, and we are looking forward to celebrating that together tomorrow. It's going to be a great time. We're not typically not big birthday people, but it's always nice to be together for the birthday, and we're going to have a wonderful, lovely day. And I'm going to be a gentleman. I'm not going to tell her age, because that is not my style, and I'm sure she's going to enjoy her last year in her 40s absolutely. So happy birthday to three very, very important people in my life. And just another wee shout out, I got Leo's report card number 2 from his high school this morning, and it's a wonderful read. He's getting very, very good marks, 80 plus in all of his topics and such, and he's doing very, very well. So it's great to see that. Obviously, his dad has a massive influence on his academic performance, and yeah, good for him. He's just such a great guy. It's great to see him do that. Shout out for the Melbourne City Loyal Culture Weekend, featuring Ian Ferguson, Gary Stevens, Stuart Monroe. There's a boat cruise. There's going to be a gala dinner and such. I'm going to leave the Facebook link for that in until the event actually happens as well, but there's a wee while to go before that. The women's team got back to league business with a 3-0 win at Spartans to continue their solid restart after the winter break, after a horrendous moment. And here's the good news, that Glasgow City were beaten by Hibs 3-1 on the weekend, so the Rangers women's team are only 2 points behind in the league now, which is interesting. Level on points with Hibs. Hibs are doing great, I have to say. So we're level on points with them in second spot, and if that mob win their game in hand, they'll go level with Glasgow City. So it's a 4-horse race there right now, which is fantastic. Absolutely, absolutely exciting, and that's the sort of stuff that's going to draw bigger crowds for people going there to say, look, what's going to happen here between now and the end of the season. So all good there, obviously quite damning the results that happened just before the winter break. Nothing we can do about that now, but to get ourselves back properly, firmly back in the race, that's a great thing as well. And in the final few weeks here, I guess, few weeks, just to let you know about the NARCO Curry Weekend, and that's in London, Ontario. If you need any information about that, you can go to the Facebook page, or you can email narco2025@outlook.com, and Andy B will give you all of the information that you need. It starts on Thursday the 13th of February and goes through to Sunday the 16th of February. Basically, all of it is going to be hosted at the Scots Corner pub, which is the home of the London Rangers Supporters Club. And then on the Friday, there's a bit of a brewery tour and a London Knights ice hockey game to kind of keep you entertained there as well. So that's good news. Good news on that, and it's only a couple of weeks away. It seems like months and months and months I've been talking about that, so it's great to get that going there. In terms of NARSA, the NARSA convention is 135 days and 19 weeks away until we go down and descend upon Kissimmee in Osceola County, Florida. That is, of course, June the 12th to the 15th, and I don't know that we actually did a great job of advertising this. I need to double check our socials, but certainly I wish I had put a link on the WhatsApp group there, but Rangers did put an article on the website last week, which I'll put in the show notes for this week, and it talks about basically what is NARSA. In our conversations with Rangers, we're dealing with some younger folks, and they're kind of like, who are you guys? You know, there's a lot of people here who have no idea who you are, what you do, why you do what you do, and the conventions and such. So we put together a wee article there. It's on the Rangers website. I'll put the article there, as I say, and it's a good read. I think, just to give us a bit of give folks who maybe are unfamiliar with us a bit of an idea of what we do and why we do it, and there's a wee bit of a pitch in there for, of course, the convention too. And yesterday morning during the game, Big Martin down in Chicago had given me a bit of a heads up that there was a thread that started on the follow forum, and it actually started asking about NARSA 2026 and where it was planning to be, and then there was some conversations in and around that, and some of it just not true, and I thought, right, okay, I'll go there and answer some questions. I went there, realised I didn't have an account, so I had to put an account together. It took ages for me to get approved with my account. I had to nudge David Edgar to give me my account organised there, and then I finally got an opportunity to answer some of the questions. So I basically went through from top to bottom and said, right, okay, that's not true. This is exactly what's happening. There was like Five Stars are organising the whole event. It's going to be an auction for 3 days as a result. NARSA's finished. Like a lot of typical online stuff, So I had an opportunity to dialogue with the boys and girls over there, and just give them an idea of who we are and what we're doing, and I'm here to help and such. So I don't know if that helped or not. Hopefully it did. I'll try and keep an eye on that sort of stuff as we move forward. But I mean, it's an open, and I think I've been very open about this since I became the president of NARSA back in 2014. Like, there's no big secret here, and the background stuff that we do is not very exciting. It's not very exciting. It's just one of these. It's an organization. If you've been involved in a volunteer organization, it's a lot of work, and it's a labor of love, and it's typically thankless, and but there's no secrets here. So if you ever have a question or anything to do with NARSA that you think I could answer, please get in touch. Rangers SCC, that's two S's and two C's, at hotmail.com, and I will be absolutely delighted to answer any questions that you have, because I don't want anybody starting garbage rumours. I don't want anybody to put the boot into us that's completely unfounded or unnecessary and such like that. So I hope that helped, and maybe it did or not. Just a reminder, we have John Brown and Mark Haitley joining us. The tickets are out for sale. The hotel rooms are out for sale too. And as I've mentioned over the last wee while, our numbers are not where they should be for this event. We signed a contract with the hotel in good faith. We are not meeting the stipulations of the contract right now because not enough people are booking the rooms and not enough people are buying event tickets. So we're in a bit of a sticky situation right now. So as I have said before, if you are genuinely planning on coming, I need you to book your hotel. I need you to book your tickets so that we can get on with the proper planning as we move forward. I can't say it any more plain than that. If you're coming, please get on with doing what you need to do to get us in a better position to understand how many people are coming. In terms of other business, just in a reminder here, this is more so for NARSA members, that in the synopsis of our general meeting that we hosted there a couple of weeks back, or a week back, was it? Just maybe a week back. We do have a number of positions coming up on the NARSA executive here at the AGM in June. So we're going to have for sure a secretary, for sure the treasurer position, probably the VP position, and maybe one or two of the director positions. It depends. We'll see what happens. Of course, every single position is up for, if you really genuinely want to go for a position, you can absolutely go for it. But there's a few of the incumbents that might be sticking around. So typically people stay away from them and maybe just pursue something else. My only ask is that you have the time and you have the skill set for that particular position, because just shoehorning yourself into a position for the sake of having a position doesn't really help move the association forward. So if you have skills in a specific area, say for example you've been a secretary before at your club, at your lodge, at whatever community that you've been serving, that would be great. If you have a financial background, you know your way around a spreadsheet and some banking, then that's a great thing as well. Just coming in cold, it becomes a difficult thing for us to manage. But if you need any information on any of the positions, we have information on the NARSA website. about that, and you can contact me at the contact details I gave you earlier, and I'll be happy to give you a call and we can chat through that too. I stay on as past president after that as well, so we'll see how that goes. In terms of the communications, the Gers guide was out very, very early today, so that's great. Today you've got away days for Dundee United, you've got a press conference with Cyril Dessers after the game where he says he has unfinished business with Rangers. So does that mean he's sticking around? I guess we'll find out by this Friday as to if there's any more incomings or outgoings. And then there's also the Rangers women's team highlights for the Spartans game. Tomorrow, as usual, is the loan review. Wednesday is the press conference for the USG game and some information or some content on RTV for the training ground. Actually, I think it's on the socials as well, not just RTV. On Thursday, we have an opposition focus segment for USG, then the USG game, and there's also a big interview with Scott Nisbet as well. Always very, very entertaining. He tells a great story, Scott Nisbet, so that should be very entertaining. On Friday, we've got Ibrox Icons, Marvin Andrews, and then possibly the press conference for the Ross County game. There was no mention of that on the Gers guide. I would imagine it would either be after the USG game on Thursday, or maybe they might set something up for Friday, who knows. Not a whole bunch going on Saturday. On Sunday, there's a preview of the Ross County game with Ridvan Yilmaz. And then we have the Ross County game, and the women's team are in Scottish Cup fourth round action at home to Montrose, and that's a 2 p.m. UK kick-off. Very last thing, I'll just continue to mention the Rangers International Coaching Convention from the 3rd to the 6th of April. I'll leave the link in the show notes for that. If you're an aspiring coach and you want to find out more about how to do that the Rangers way, then the Coaching Convention is absolutely something that you should check out. Okay, my friends, that will do it for this week. A wee bit of a longer one this week because of Nick Walsh. Anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Please do share it with whomever you think might enjoy it. As always, another important week for us. They're all important, of course, but I think we just need to keep going, get the head down, continue getting the results that we need to get, and see where it takes us. Until next week, I will enjoy my birthday week with loved ones this week. I hope you enjoy your week too. Please do take care of yourself, and I'll chat to you again next week. Follow.